Alright everybody, game number 1 in the best of 3 series here at the Heroes Battle Arena, powered by Twitch and G2A, Kiev5 versus NaVi, and we have Blackheart's Bay as our map, which is actually pretty interesting that we see that map. So, like, I haven't seen it for weeks, now we see it twice in a day. So the draft might be a bit different here, because there are a few things that you can do on this map that you cannot really do as well on other maps. For example, you can play nearly throughout the entire match a more PvE style, where you are just trying to not fight, but you play around your opponent and try to win the map with objectives, turning in those coins. Kiev5 with the ban on Kel'Thas, so NaVi is most likely going to ban out Tyrande, and there is the Tyrande ban, with Kiev5 now having a couple of options of how they can start into the draft. Like, we've been talking a lot about how you can pick Uther or ETC early on because you want to deny that combo to your opponent. That's definitely still viable, you can do that. But right now we have, oh wow, high focus on Falstad again. And if you watched the games earlier that we had in the Chinese league, and you can already tell that there's a pretty big difference about the Chinese meta and the European meta. Falstad super early as a first pick here for Kiev5, and that's something that you wouldn't see in the Chinese scene at all. I mean, we were hard pressed to find a Falstad in all of these games. I think it was banned out in the last match between Cloud9 and their opponent, which was... I'm already drawing a blank. So much stuff has been going on today. It was crazy. AHQ, the Taiwanese team. And NaVi does decide to not go into the potential Uther ETC. Instead, they are still dropping Uther, but they run him together with a Muradin here. Muradin, of course, is super strong tank at the front line. We've been talking about him a lot in the past, but that allows now Kiev to go for a couple of other variations here when it comes to the draft. We have also, of course, the option for them to go into a Tassadar, which is oftentimes banned out as well. But first of all, they lock down that ETC, so the counterparts to Muradin, the two tanks, are probably the most picked these days. And we have a Sylvanas on this map now, which would also guarantee a pretty nice counterplay to a potential melee assassin, because NaVi, with that Uther that they already locked down, have the opportunity to go into something like a Kerrigan, Illidan, and Thrall. The melee assassins are getting quite popular here again. With NaVi, when we're looking at the ban here, they can ban out a support player if they really wanted to. There's, of course, a couple of options that you have with this. Heroes that we could see on this map, which are a little bit more out of the ordinary and more catering towards the map as well. The support ban, as predicted, is already happening here. But heroes that we could see are even... We could see the Abathur, the Lost Vikings. Oftentimes when we play this map, we have an Abathur ban, by the way. NaVi could still think about heading into something along the lines of an Abathur together with a Jaina to get that Muradin, Uther, double Jaina in. That's a lot of burst damage that it has there. Kind of doubt a bit that they're going to go for it, but if they want to play with Uther and a melee assassin, they could still try to lock at least Abathur down. Kiev5, when it comes to the bans, I mean, they could decide, they ban out the Sonya. Alright, Sonya, super strong, of course, and especially with that Uther Divine Shield, you want to make sure that she is not going to become a problem for you. But NaVi can still head into one of those melee assassins. We've been talking about that a bit. It is a very, very strong combo if you have the Divine Shield ready to save your front line. They still need some range damage, though. And that's where we could see a Reyna, we could see a Vala there, or a Zagara at the bot lane. Zagara actually, like, extremely powerful here. If you have her at the bot lane, you can get a lot of pressure out of this, so it's definitely an option that they can use if they want to. Zagara could try and dominate that lane, and then also, of course, give you that pushing power that helps also to make sure that that Sylvanas is not getting completely out of control. So that's definitely one of the things that NaVi could attempt to add to their roster here, but it all depends a bit on the question whether they want to run a melee assassin, yes or no. Range damage, they need it either way, but usually you don't want to run the Zagara as the only damage dealer in the backline. That's where a Vala or a Reyna would be much, much better for them. Even a Vala, even a Jaina. And Vala already the choice here. It's kind of nice that my girl is seeing some play again these days. Like, she's back to business and, yep, more hateful than ever. Yeah, getting all those hatred stacks in. And a Thrall, told ya, melee assassin. There we go. And Thrall has really benefited from those scaling changes that Blizzard implemented recently. We see him a lot these days. Green Jesus is back to business. So we have the War Chief in the game. And Green Moses, as you can also call him, because the Sundering is parting the waves of the opponent, will have a pretty big impact here. But, well, NaVi still has one last pick where they can react to whatever Kiev5 is going to try and bring to the table. And, well, Kiev5, they need a support, so it's likely... There are the Vikings. I told you we could see them here, and I'm loving it. Kiev5, they like to play Vikings. They need a support. We could see that Brightwing here. That would really work, and there she is. It's great if you're having this many characters on the map. And thanks to the AoE heal, and the Vikings in particular, can just simply soak the top in the mid lane, and you can push the bot lane with 4 heroes. NaVi could still decide to go into the Tassadar. That helps, first of all, to keep Thrall alive, and it gives you vision on the map. The same would also somehow happen with a Zagara, because you get the creep tumor vision. If you're trying to hunt down Vikings, that's actually like a pretty smart move, because you are always in a position where you get some vision around these bushes where the Vikings love to hide and soak experience for the team. So that's one of the things that NaVi could decide to do now. There's a lot of options, but they go into a Nubarak, so it's a triple melee setup, actually quadruple melee setup if you count that Uther. And a Nubarak, that is a hero that we see a bit more often. We've seen him today in the GHL, in the Chinese Gold League, but in Europe, he's really not chosen all that often. So this is going to be some nice play. There's a lot of stuns, a lot of lockdowns that they bring to the table. Kiev5 is going to try to run this with just the experience all over the map, and I'm loving this draft. I'm loving the map, and we're going to have a lot of fun here now in Black Huts Bay. Alrighty, that being said, we go into the game immediately. I need to just let these guys know that I need a second to adjust the score overlay. Hosting, okay, NaVi is hosting. By the way, I have the laugh of my life because Alex is actually silenced. I have no idea why. Alex is probably one of the people that I have no idea how it's possible that he got silenced. He said it's the second time that it happened as well, but usually Alex, I mean, if I talk about people that are like toxic, Alex would not be one of the names that I would come up with here. So, yeah. I have no idea who reported him or what happened there, but he's probably not going to be too happy about it. I mean, either way, the game is about to start, and, well, we're looking at a very, very cool setup here for both of the teams. I'm loving to see the Vikings. It's going to be super cool. And, yeah, let's start with today's games, boys. Mopsio is playing. Okay, we have apparently also a bit of a shift when it comes to the player lineup. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. I was a bit early on this one. No, apparently, okay, one of the guys is only casting that I just saw here, but yeah, let's jump into the game. NaVi to the left, Sky Temple is going to be the first map, and we have now Thrall. You can see that we have, of course, the new players on the side of NaVi, so if you're not really familiar with the roster, we're going to go over that in just a few. We have on the side of Kiev5, Mopsio on the other hand. Not quite sure if he is a permanent addition, or if that's actually only a sub-player. They haven't really told me if they changed the setup, and currently there's like so much stuff happening that we don't know 100%. Game number 1 in the best of 3 series, ladies and gentlemen, at the Heroes Battle Arena. And we have NaVi going up against Kiev5. The first map is, as you can already see, well, not Black Huts Bay. It is indeed Sky Temple, so that draft pick was apparently a little bit wrong and doesn't really seem like they hosted the wrong map. But yeah, so we have a different map than announced in the draft, which is a bit unfortunate, but, well, the lineups are still pretty sweet. To the left side of the map, we have NaVi with Alex the Pro G being a naughty boy, being silenced here on Anubarak, Zarmany on Muradin, Crosby on Vala, Grand Paquete on Uther, and Eternal on Thrall. To the right side of the map, Air for Kiev5 on Falstead, so Ice Cream on Savannah's, Hydra on the Vikings, Mopsio on ETC, and Lunarn is playing Brightwing. So we have still a pretty sweet setup for both of the teams here, and we're going to talk about, of course, also the talents and those compositions in just a short while. First of all, a few comments about the setup here. You might already have noticed that we have Crosby now playing on the side of NaVi. NaVi, by the way, has just reformed recently, and currently they're trying to lock down the Ice Cream, but they don't get the kill. Instead, we have Muradin suddenly under a lot of pressure. They are rushing in to take him down. Zarmany is in trouble, and he's not going to get out of this one. So the first kill for Kiev5, well done and a good reaction. The Vikings are, of course, soaking the rest of the lanes. We're having Hydra currently at the bot lane with Eric and Olaf. Eric and Balog, and in the mid lane it is Olaf that is currently soaking experience. But as I said, we had a few changes to the lineup of NaVi after BlizzCon. Grand Paquete is now playing as a support, and we have Crosby, a former My Insanity aka Spartanian player, playing for the lineup as well. The last status that I had is that they were tryout players. By now they might be part of the fixed roster. We don't really know for sure, but probably the more success they're going to have in the future, the more likely it is that they're going to be a permanent addition to the team. That also led to My Insanity withdrawing from the league because they don't have a full lineup at this point. So the team did not disband. I actually said that in a previous stream, but they didn't. I was misinformed by one of the admins who apparently misunderstood what was going on there. So the team My Insanity is still intact, but they're looking for the last player. And because they don't have a full roster, they decided to withdraw from the league instead. Right now, when we're looking at the setup of Kiev5, we have also Mopsio playing for them. I wasn't really informed before the cast if that is now a permanent addition or if he's just going to sub in today. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff happening in the European scene, as you can already tell. A few of the teams have now a very fixed lineup, especially when we're talking about teams like Team Liquid and Fnatic, but there's still a lot of flux currently. So for now, we have both of the teams going, of course, in this first game of the best of the 3 series, going straight for those shots at the temple. Eric was taken down. Looks like Eternal in the mid lane is also not having a counterpart against him, who has to do anything about that. Bot lane is where we still have few of the Vikings in play, and Anuburak is soaking the experience here for them. So Alex versus Hydra. A lot of those tower shots are already gone, so the ammunition has been drained by all of those beetles. And a bit of an adjustment with the builds here as well for Anuburak. Not going into the Legion of Beetles on the level 4 tower, but instead it's the Underking. They go for Mopsio. He is getting knocked up again, and down goes ETC. Great moves here on the side of NaVi, even though inexperienced. They are falling behind thanks to the Vikings, and Hydra just trying to soak as much as he possibly can. So Underkin taken for the increased range on the burrow charge. And I can tell you one thing from personal experience. The first time that you see Anuburak charging in after he chose the level 4 talent, you are normally in a spot where you're like, what the hell is going on? If you didn't double check what talent he took, then you might be in for a surprise, because a lot of people just stay just barely outside the range of him, and if he takes that talent, yeah, you might be in for a very bad surprise indeed. Eternal is going for the Season Marksman on level 1 with his Thrall, and we're seeing him with the Spirit Journey for the increased travel range for the Feral Spirit. It's really interesting also to see, oh, gank attempt, but yeah, that was a bit... It's really interesting to see, in my opinion as well, how the difference here is between the Thrall builds that we have. Just earlier today we casted a few of the games in the GHL, the Chinese scene, and we saw Thrall being played there too, and it was more of a focus onto the Chain Lightning build than anything else. So there's a couple of builds out for Thrall these days that you can play. With the Sylvanas, the pushing power that we're seeing here for Kiev5 is of course incredible. And that's exactly what they're currently trying to bring to the table. They have next to the Vikings also Brightwing in play, and all of these heroes are soaking experiences all over the map. Whereas Kiev5 can now push in and take maybe even the well down. That would help them like so much when it comes to the attack at the temple down to the bot lane, which is going to be activated next. Hydra is a bit far out here with his Viking, apparently didn't pay attention, and Balog dies as a result of it. Fawcett, of course, with the Season Marksman of level 1, is now also heading into the secret weapon on level 7 after going straight into the power throw on level 4. With the extra AoE damage that we're now seeing for Anuburak, thanks to the Urticating Spines, we have him with a bit of additional wave clear. He can use that up of the top to push this in a bit further. And the rest of the team is still rotating in the middle. But I have to give some credit here to NaVi, who are, despite the fact that they're up against the Vikings, still in a really comfortable position concerning the experience at least. They are not really looking too good when it comes down to the structure, so the structural position in the game is a completely different one, but when it comes to experience, these guys are strong. And AR, moves away. Alex, the Pro G, misses him just barely, but Brightwing is down. Luna dead, no blink heal just yet. ETC is moving away now too, but the chase is still on, and Falstad is getting slammed into the face, and he drops now as well. So job well done on the side of NaVi, well played. We have them with 3.5 kills against 1. And now that the temple is active down to the bot lane, they're starting to move in here. With 2 heroes still dead for the opponent, they can easily start a fight for this one. We have the Power Slide talents on level 1 and level 4 for ETC, and he went straight into the Keep on Rocking. The Guitar Hero, actually, for the additional self-heals. Alright, so Guitar Hero has been chosen for him. With the heroes that he's up against, I really expected the Keep on Rocking talent to be taken for the mini Relentless that you get for 4 seconds. That would have been really good for him as well. But you can already just tell that there's a couple of options that you definitely have in a situation like this, which is what makes, of course, that talent system that Wizard uses for the game so incredibly cool. Level 7 talent, the Wind Shear, on the side of Thrall, and, well, while we're having the fight starting, both of the teams are aiming for their level 10s, their heroic abilities here. Zarmany might have to jump out of here, yep, dashes out, and a few remaining shots are ending up in the hands of Kiev5, who now also have the heroic ability, and are still pushing the lanes with the Vikings. Zarmany with the Avatar, nice Mighty Gust, and a pretty decent silence too. The shots have been soaked, and these guys cannot just simply move away if they want to. They should have the mobility to make that happen, but they go for the fight first of all, and Zarmany might actually fall. They go instead for Bala. The Divine Shield keeps her alive. Job well done here Vikings still soaking everywhere on the map. We already have down to the bottom lane, well, at least 2 of them. The top lane is not being pushed anymore, but of course that means that one heroic ability is missing during these fights, but it's still totally worth it. As you can see here, we have the wall and also Fort Plus Tower taken down by Kiev5. That gives them a lead in experience and a structural advantage that is quite important. Thanks to the Viking bribery and also, of course, thanks to the Mercenary Lord on level 4, we have especially like Eric and the other lanes pushing very hard, and is of course an invaluable advantage for Kiev5 now that they can move through the map with 4 heroes, just rotate from lane to lane, put a lot of pressure on while the Vikings are still securing experience on all the other lanes. I mean, just look up at the top where we have Hydra still soaking it. At the same time, as we said before, NaVi is actually doing quite well trying to stay alive here and get the experience for themselves, but they are slightly behind. Hydra is dying here again. That's of course a bit unfortunate. Up to the top lane, it looks like Olaf at least might escape, but in the mid lane we have a massive pressure play again. Vikings together with the Sylvanas have so much lane push, it is absolutely incredible. But at this point, yeah, Mighty Gas being used for the disengage and the cocoon, so that ETC is not going to get away here. He has still the mosh pit up, but I doubt that he's going to be able to use it. He's getting locked down as we speak, might be thinking about the heroic ability, dashes away, Sundering is locking him out for a second. Yeah, there was a shield that kept him alive for a bit longer, but now we have Divine Shield on Meridian. He goes in for another stun. Hydra escapes, Brightwing blink heals away, and they are still looking strong. Here comes the longboat, and Eternal might actually fall. Indeed he does, and they are going straight for Zarmany, who might now also fall. So Ice Cream going really deep, and so does Air. He gets stunned for a second, but that polymorph here that we're seeing for Uther is nearly dropping him. But Sylvanas is straight in the fight again, and wow, Kiev5, they are really putting in the pressure now. I'm liking this game a lot. I really love Viking play, and it's pretty cool to see this Hydra and the rest of the team synergized as well. Keep this composition a bit in mind, because what they currently do, and you might have seen that in the last fight before they turned and really faced the battle, they actually just rotated around the map with the heroes that they had, pushed in the lanes thanks to the combo of the Vikings plus Sylvanas. I've already talked about it a bit. And once that there was a fight, they just used the Mighty Gas to disengage. So they don't necessarily want to fight. If they see advantage, they're going to do exactly that. But for now, they can just always disengage with the Mighty Gas and try to just get ahead in experience. There is that battle happening, or it could be, with Giant Killer now as a level 13 talent for Falstad. We're seeing With the Wind taken after Lost Soul on level 1 for Sylvanas, and we have the jump for the Vikings with groupies, of course, for ETC, and the shield dust taken for Brightwing. But one of the temples taken down to the bot lane. Experience was still soaked by some of the Vikings. We have now another camp taken on the map, and Hydra can use one of his Vikings to rotate over and make sure that they're going to get a bit more pushing power out of this one. Zarmany is soaking the last few shots for his team, but all of the forts have been eliminated by Kiev5, which is a pretty big advantage for the team now. Vala went into the multi-shot build and therefore chose to go on to Frost Shot on level 13, with Nuburak heading straight into that extra AoE damage. So we have for him Burning Rage, and on the side of Thrall, as expected, the Grace of Air. That's why these Wind Shear talents, or these Wind Fury talents, are really popular. Falstad taken down, and the Divine Shield on Thrall. They're starting to move in again. And right now that Cocoon is of course isolating another target, and there's the stuns, and goodbye Sylvanas. NaVi with great play here on the map. I'm liking that setup for Kiev5 a lot. I really think it's absolutely great to see this, but at the same time NaVi is doing exceptionally well when it comes to locking down targets and really forcing these kills. 6.75 kills in over 2, so they are very solid here. We have now also the boss taken, could try and dash in, boss is there, and they move on the point, and here is immediately that attempt to go for the mosh pit, but interrupted even before it can happen. Once again, Mopsy about to die. They nearly get the boss, but not quite. 2 down, 3 down, Mighty Gust is being used, but Alex the Pro G is still on point, and now the entire team, with the exception of Sylvanas, is getting wiped out. Nobody died for NaVi. They have the boss, and they start to move into the middle of the map. Very well played here. That ETC mosh pit could have worked out for them, but Anubarak was already dashing in even as it was started. It was a great counter pick against ETC, and it's working out incredibly well for the team. But they were looking strong. The problem for them, of course, is that right now NaVi is just making the plays. Yeah, Kiev5 was a little bit too eager to go for the boss here. They didn't have the entire team together, and especially Sylvanas was missing, so that's an issue. And then still trying to face that fight was maybe a mistake. Well, there's no maybe about it. It was indeed one. But for now, we at least have once again the attacks happening here. We are seeing down to the bot lane before they're eliminated. Level 16 talents are now ready, and that puts the double blood for blood into the hands of NaVi, and we're seeing them also with Stone Form, Benediction, and even that extra damage thanks to the Tempest Fury on the third strike. So that's pretty sweet as well. Another Temple is going to be active in another 4 seconds that the teams are going to aim for. We already have Zarmany on the way over, as at the top lane, Garampakete and Alex the Pro G are attempting to drop this fort maybe even before the Temple is being taken. Yeah, down here, one camp is taken, and that's where especially the Vikings can, of course, come into play again if they rotate in. That Mercenary Lord talent on level 4 is pretty sweet, and you can really get a lot of lane push with it if you are able to get all of that. But the rest of the team can't go for the Temple. They can't really attack anything here because they are lacking the level 16 talent. And this is currently their biggest problem. The Vikings are already attempting to not even sneak down and help out this camp, but instead they're starting to rotate into the middle so that at least that heroic ability is available during the fight. Lunarn on his Brightwing is the only one who went down to the bot lane, and that's pretty simply because he can use the phase shift to just jump into any kind of fight up at the top, where we now still see the last few shots soaked by NaVi. NaVi in nearly a 2-level lead right now against the Vikings, which is absolutely incredible play. Mopsy and his boys are currently aiming to go straight for that wall at the top, and they will get a bit of damage in, especially with Sylvanas, so NaVi has to react to that. They have nice rotations on the map for them. Hammer time. We have also, of course, a combo talent for the level 1 Lost Soul taken by Sylvanas going into the Cold Embrace here. Good stuns though. Impatience of Virtue and Echo Paddle has been chosen, as well as the Greater Polymorph for Brightwing. But for now, we're seeing the Cocoon used again. The silent hits, and it hits hard. ETC with the Mosh Pit, but Divine Shell has been used on the Nubarak, and they can simply zone ETC out. He's already dropped, so Ice Cream is moving away. Brightwing is dead. Falstad is following, and the Vikings are most likely going to fall as well, or at least 1 or 2 of them. Stormbolt is hitting them. Jump allows them to run away for a bit longer, but in the end it's going to be a full kill against the Vikings. Eric, Balog, and Olaf are down. We have 14.25 kills against 2. And well, at the beginning of the map, we had for Kiev5 a bit of an advantage. They were looking pretty solid here, but right now in the late game, NaVi is just taking full control of the match and is starting to burst their comp down quite easily. So they go for kill after kill. They move in for the first keep of the game, 14 minutes into the match, and they are looking incredibly strong here with the setup that they're playing. Alex the Pro G, especially on his love bug here, is doing very, very well with the Nubarak. That Underking talent also allowing him to just jump in from all the positions. And yeah, that could mean that we're going to see a lot more Nubarak in the near future. For now, it looks like an attempt to take down Thrall, and that might be happening, but no, Thrall is currently he's going full ham now. He goes full ham into this, and he gets, of course, that Frostwolf resilience. There comes the Ice Cream, and he is falling as well. Eternal is saved, and Thrall's still alive. That self-heal is just absolutely insane if you even have an Uther backing you up, and they can go straight for the core now. They have the level 20 talents, and with those we now see the Nexus Frenzy for Vala. We have full damage talents taken now, 18 kills against 2, and a great play here by NaVi in game number 1 of the best of 3 series. They secure themselves the lead in the best of 3, take it on Sky Temple against their opponent. GG and well played, and we're of course going to jump into game number 2 to find out if Kiev5 can turn the series around.